I am here just to do a live because it's Live Thursdays and I committed to that. But I thought I would tell you why I do what I do. I think a lot of you have heard about the singing aspect of it, but not a lot of you have heard about the introspection, self concept, digging deeper, finding out who I am, and all of that concept, and how all that came to fruition. So I'm just going to go a bit into my journey and tell you how I got here and why I am doing what I do and why I love it. So, if I go back, I think it really happened when I had kids. This whole introspective thing. I think for me, up till that point, I lived very externally. Like what everybody else thought mattered, what the world said was good mattered. Um, if someone I respected said you should do that, I would do that. And so it was just a very externally stimulated life. And once I had kids, it was kind of like I don't want them to live that way. And then it was okay if I lived that way, but I didn't want them to live that way. And then I was like, wait a minute, why is it okay for me to only live that way? And maybe I should have high standards for myself. And so that's what took me on this whole introspective journey. Like, what does Tanya actually like? What does Tanya actually want to do with her life? What actually brings Tanya meaning and purpose? I didn't have any answers to those questions. And so one of the first things I did was The Artist's Way. It's a book and it's full of journaling prompts and things like that, and I discovered so much. But that was where I first traced the fact that I had hidden this desire to sing well. And I even traced memories back to like when I was in standard 4 and 5, and I saw this beautiful girl sing at an assembly, and for a moment time just stood still, and I was just enraptured in her performance, and all of me was like, I want to do that. And as soon as the performance was over, I remember going, no, 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 you already have piano lessons. Don't ask for this as well. Just put your head down. Just study hard. Just be good, and everything's going to be okay. And I remember journaling about that and going, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I had suppressed this excitement that I had for singing, for so long. Um, and then you end up doing business management in college, but of course I was doing business management because I wanted to be part of the choir in the college. So that was very telling too. um, so as I was discovering myself, I was finding out what lit me up, and the other thing that lit me up that was very interesting was teaching. And I think one of my early memories was in Hebron. We had a trampoline, the place I studied. We had a trampoline, and so I learned all these cool tricks on the trampoline, and know how to do all these fun moves and stuff. And when I came back to Bangalore, my parents have this company called Breakthrough. Shout out to Breakthrough. And so a lot of people wanted to jump on the trampoline and learn a few things. And I realized that I could break down what I could do to any level that people needed. So if they didn't know how to jump on a trampoline, I knew how to tell them to keep their feet slightly apart, lower their center of gravity, just bounce a few times. Or if they could already jump, I knew how to tell them to go onto their knees and come up, or onto their butt and come up, And so I realized that teaching came very easily to me. There was another funny incident in college where I was talking in class. I was being sassy, I can't remember, and the teacher was like, oh, you want to come up here and teach? And I was like, okay. and so the teacher said, okay, tomorrow you're teaching the class. And that night I went home, and I wasn't really interested in the subject matter, but I was interested in teaching. And so I learned everything really well, and I came the next day so well prepared. And after I taught the class, all my friends were like, oh my gosh, I actually understood what was going on today. Like, you should teach us every day. And I just laughed it off at the time. I was like, haha, so funny. But as I was journaling 10 years later, I was realizing that, that was something that excited me. I really enjoyed teaching. It was really fun, even though I hated not hated, but wasn't that interested in the subject matter. Teaching was really interesting. And so I was finding these little gems, and it was slowly leading me, on the pathway of what is Tanya? Who is Tanya? What does she actually like? So I found teaching, I found singing, and then I had my kiddies. And oh man, parenting, nothing has taught me more than being a parent. I had this one moment that I am very shameful to talk about, so keep that in mind as I say this. But I had this one moment where there was this little 3-year-old in front of me, and I was just shouting at her, and I was like, I can't believe, da da da, and I was yelling at her. I don't know, the room must have been messy. She didn't put away her toy. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I had this out of body experience where I just looked at the scenario from like a bird's eye view, and I saw this little girl just be like, why are you shouting at me? I love you, with this beautiful, innocent face. And then I turned to look at me, and I was just like yelling and screaming like there was something wrong with her. And I had this moment of, oh, there's nothing wrong with her, there's something wrong with you. Like, why are you screaming at this child? And it took me down a path of, okay, why am I so angry? What is it that I need to control about my environment so desperately that like flares my emotions up so much? And I started doing so much introspective work. I remember that being like one of the really key moments. And I never thought of myself as an angry person, but my kids really brought that. They know what buttons to push, you know. I think they're very especially gifted in that area. And so as I went on this journey, I started doing courses. I started doing programs that, you know, challenged what my beliefs were, what my values were, what my core being wanted to be, and what messaging I wanted to give to the world. And then I started realizing that, man, as kids, we adopt these beliefs and these habits and these systems that don't work for us as adults anymore. Like, it doesn't work as adults anymore. And we still adopt them, and we're still stuck in them. And so how do we break through that and start to really live life consciously and make our own decisions, you know, as adults? And so I started to uncover a lot of my limiting beliefs and what I thought Tanya should be. Should started to become a bad word for me. I said every time I say should, I've literally sworn like I'm using a bad word. So no more should. I need to say I will, I can, I am going to, but I will not use should anymore. And so it's such an interesting journey. And I did not see how this was related to singing in the beginning. Well, I did actually. I did see how it was related to singing, but I didn't see anyone put them together, you know? And so I was like, people who want to learn how to sing are not interested in being introspective and learning who they are and how they want to express themselves. And people who are really about inner work and introspection are not really interested in singing. I was wrong. I was so wrong. So I think where I finally landed is all these three things that really light me up: singing, teaching, and introspection. And they've all come together to form this beautiful program that I've now designed that I get to go through with people. And I've had such good positive reviews. Like in the past, when I just did singing lessons, people would be like, wow, I can't believe I can sing, it's amazing. Now the reviews are like, you've changed my life. I don't know how. Like the other day I went for a job interview, and I actually wanted to find out if they had what I needed. I wasn't morphing myself to what the job interview needed. And I was like, yes, this is great, you know? And so it's been an amazing journey, and so I would love to continue doing it. So if you are interested, do book a call with me, sign up, and or just message me, just DM me, that would work too. And I'd love to work with you and continue this journey. So see you guys around, and that is my story. Okay, bye.